Arise, minions, and batten down the hatches as we leave behind the safety of the Humblewood to check in with the crew of Dark Fortunes.
Hello, I'm Rory, aka Final Gambit, and I'll be playing Silence Furuiken, level 1 Mapok Warlock.
Hi, I'm V Muse, and I'm playing Sionnach MacTyre, the level 1 Vulpin Fighter.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Mimir Elderbrand, level 1 Corbin Bard.
Hi, I'm McLovin. I'm playing Auryn, the level 1 Servant Barbarian.
Hi, my name is Johnny. I'm the Dungeon Master. Welcome to the Dark Fortunes podcast.
I'm James Introcasso, and I love tabletop role-playing games. I've got a new podcast called Tabletop Babble that talks RPG advice, interviews, reviews, and news with some of the top names in the industry. The conversation is casual, just like it would be if we were hanging out at a convention or local-friendly game store. Get a new episode each week at don'tsplitthepodcastnetwork.com or wherever podcasts are available for free.
Previously on Dark Fortunes. Troublemaker seems to be an understatement to describe this most motley of crews. With Sionnach and Mimir having leapt into the arena to join Silence and Auryn, the four must now find a way to flee the enraged city. And just like that, a most unlikely quartet is formed out of sheer necessity.
The four of you are facing each other for a moment in the center of the Razor Den arena, on the arena floor. Silence, you are taking in this situation as you land from trying to climb up onto the side of the arena, up the arena lip, essentially. Sionnach, you have dropped to the ground, following Mim as he jumped over and sort of used his glide to be able to kind of fall into the arena, safely. Concerned about his well-being as he looked like he was on his last legs. Auryn, you are kind of raging towards as you see Mim, gliding his way in, and you reach up and kind of grab for him. And Mim, you are dealing with the situation where you are just, you are feeling the pain of your last moments. Your vigor is beginning to slip away significantly. There are calls going all around as new challengers are coming from the crowd, as the crowd is getting riled up that four are now in the arena. What are the four of you doing?
I am going to look at Silence and Sionnach as they land down. Or as she lands down, and then look at Silence. I'm like, stripey one. And point to his wounds. And then he walks off to the gate and begins to... do they open out or in?
They open out.
Open out. So this is what he wants to do. He wants to bury his axe where it goes in, and he can start prying the door open and using athletics. Kind of attacking and using athletics at the same time.
Okay. While you're moving towards the door and doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
As he begins to pull his axe up and move towards the door in a I'm breaking out motion, Mimir just weakly raises a hand towards him and says, best of luck, big one. And I'm using Bardic Inspiration on Auryn.
Now, while
sorry.
So hold on just a second. While we are technically out of initiative at this point, the fight is done. I'm still going to need a death save from you.
Okay. A 5.
Right. Okay.
It's not a 1. That was...
All right. So let's navigate this in this particular way. You're going to take that action, and you're going to inspire him, and then we'll navigate what happens depending upon what other people do in this particular situation. So that's what Mim is doing. Silence, Sionnach.
Auryn has basically just pointed out to me, just to do my best to heal Mim or make sure he doesn't die more. So as he's inspiring, as Mim is inspiring Auryn, Silence would like to walk out to him, start like rummaging through his belt pouch to find like, any kind of small scraps of cloth he can.
Oh,
And
Sionnach would actually be ripping the lace off of her sleeves and like shoving them into your hands. Use these.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, use these.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And he'll kneel down towards Mim and say, I liked your song. And he will then start applying these bandages to try and do a medicine check to stabilize him.
Does he get advantage because she's assisting?
Absolutely, he does.
All right. Okay.
What a soft, sweet boy. Sorry.
One was a 3, and the other was a 17 plus 1, so 18.
Okay. Hold on. So that's gonna we'll navigate that in a second. And that was all of what Sionnach was gonna do in that particular scene. Okay. So, Mem, give us your bardic inspiration. Tell us what exactly happens. What do you do for Auryn there?
Oh no, that's all he did was he pointed at him weakly and said, "Good luck, big guy." That was it. That's all he had left in him.
As that happens, you collapse to the ground and you're just on, sort of just, you just kind of lay over, right? And the two of you, Silence, Sionnach, you move forward. The crowd is beginning to get a little restless and concerned and confused as they're watching this. And the four of you just really appear to be ignoring them. It's just almost like a subtle roar going on in the background as this happens. And Silence, as you move up, just as he collapses, you find exactly where the wound is that the servant was able to kind of latch onto him. And you bind it in such a way that it immediately stops the bleeding, but he is knocked out for the moment. At which we get back to Auryn, who has, as we cut to Auryn, he is making his way towards the door. Give me that roll and make sure that you acknowledge that it is with inspiration.
Okay. What's inspiration? D10?
Extra D6.
Extra D6. Okay, so let me do because I get advantage on this. This is my last little bit of rage. Okay, I'm totally going to need that. 8 plus 5 is 13 plus 1, so 14.
Just barely enough, because the doors begin to kind of crack a little bit as you're able to, to wedge the axe in such a way that it slowly shifts. At first, the cracking begins, and then it gets louder as the doors move faster as they both swing open, exposing the inner dark under the razor's den.
I look at them as I start calming down, and I'm like, we need to move.
Don't have to tell me twice, love. We just need to pick this one up in the process. And she's pointing towards Mimir.
We need Milo. Milo can help him.
Okay, new here. Who's Milo?
Milo's my friend.
Description, maybe? Yay, tall.
He's small, strig, white feathers.
Well, that sounds interesting.
He likes talking.
I know one of those, except not white. So, could I look around and see if I even spot a Milo-esque character?
So you're looking around the arena. You don't see anything else. You see the open door that Auryn has just sort of exposed for the four of you. But you see down the sort of what looks like a dark hallway or a dark sort of passageway hewn out of stone. And there are definitely torches lit, but you can't see much else beyond that.
That's for everyone, right?
Yep.
If anyone was at the beginning of the fight and saw Milo, the strig, get dragged off, and you saw him get dragged off into the tunnel here. So if anyone's smart enough to put 2 and 2 together.
The only people who were really paying attention to that, or the only individual that was paying attention to that, as far as I can remember, was actually Silence. He was aware that there was a strig in the actual arena with you.
Silence will then definitely pipe up because he's been looking at the crowd, and he'll say, I think we should leave before the crowd becomes angrier than they already are. I know what this Milo looked like, but I'll keep an eye out.
And Silence, as you're looking around at the crowd sort of taking in the situation, you realize that the Jerbeens are the Jerveen guards, the sons of the brother, are like organizing and making a move down towards the arena lip itself. And they look like they're coming in force.
Faster. Actually, we should go really fast. As quickly as we can.
As fast as possible. And then she's pointing to Mimir, but this one I can't carry on my own.
He goes, you see Auryn walk up and grab him and put him on his shoulder and then fucking just walk off with Mimir.
That's one I like.
Did you just call him Murmur?
Murmur.
Murmur.
Mimir. Is it Mimir or what?
Mimir.
Mimir.
It's Mimsy.
Mimsy. The last Mimsy.
Mm.
He's about to be the last Mimsy.
So the four of you find your way sort of like walking in, and Auryn, this is your territory. You know this walk. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about how you're coming into the situation and what your plan is, with as you've got these two backing you and you've got Mim over your shoulder.
As everyone comes in, he would shut the doors again and then try to re-brace them with, like, I imagine there was like a brace behind the door or something, and try to like take half that brace and lock the door again, and then be like, there's a gate that way we need to break, and then we will have some time to look for Milo.
As a caveat, I would like when Silence... I would like to think that he was last to leave, and as soon as he was about to go through, the portal towards passing into this area, he would turn around and then do like a quick bow to like everyone watching, just like, thank you, and then leave.
To which the crowd roars a little bit as the doors kind of close behind, as Auryn is placing the brace over the door itself.
At this time, as you guys look down the hallway, as you heard before, there's like some torches like down the way, lighting everything. It's very much the same kind of like stone all the way down. You would see random like gashes in the ceiling. And the way down, if anyone has dark vision, probably can see the cell, and probably, I don't know if there's two serve in there, but start making his way towards the gate.
It's strangely silent, and you don't actually see anybody. And so as you're making your way down this passageway, you can see that there is a doorway off to the side, and Auryn, you recognize this is the doorway that Milo led you up, where you were having difficulty navigating your antlers, through the passageway, because it was a series of steps up, and then there was a corner and another series of steps.
Can I do a perception check to see if I hear Milo?
Sure.
Okay. That'd be an 11.
You hear various noises in the distance, and there's lots of echoing going on, but you do not actually hear Milo's voice specifically.
Okay. Oh, actually, never mind. That was a 12 perception. It was 9 plus 3.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't hear Milo.
Does anything look like it's been traveled recently, or do I see any of Milo's feathers? And I will roll and investigate.
Sure. Give that to me as well.
All right. This is my best skill. Okay. I was making a facetious joke. So my investigation is -1. I rolled a nat 20. So 19.
Auryn doesn't recognize any visible signs. What he does smell, on the other hand, much like the smell that you were getting down one of the passageways at the crossroads that is sort of like the center area of this particular location, or the sort of the underground area of the Razor Den. Much like when you smelled the knoll that was off in the sort of the side a little bit, here at this doorway, you smell Milo.
Okay, I go, Milo's this way. I smell him. And then start making my way that way.
I'm gonna need you to give me some sort of athletics roll. If you're gonna carry Mim while trying to navigate this hallway, I'm gonna need something like I'm gonna need some sort of like
I would like to point out that I have servants have something called robust build. And this is the Proudhorn, or whatever the subrace is. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. Your carrying, pushing, dragging, and lifting capacity are all doubled.
It's not about you carrying him significantly. It's
Okay.
about you navigating the stairway while carrying him.
Okay. I will give you an athletics, which is an 8, which once again, I'm like, as I'm like trying to get through, I was like, maybe you guys should go first.
As he's trying to do this, Mim, you keep slipping out of his hands, and so he has to keep sort of gathering you up, and he's not able to navigate easily, and so it takes him a significant amount of time, giving Silence and Sionnach the ability or the opportunity to kind of dart forth and figure out what's up on that next level.
Silence will say, "After you, please."
Oh, this is another one I might like. Thank you. And she'll go ahead, but she has her scimitars both drawn, and she's clasping them tightly in hand.
You find yourself walking up the what looks to be stone-hewn the flight of stairs. You come around a corner, and as you're coming around the corner, you realize that you're seeing all kinds of gashes and digs and marks in the walls. And having watched Auryn try to navigate initially, kind of like carrying Mim and walking, like navigating his way up, you realize that those gashes are from him as well. Right. And you kind of step around and move your way up to the second set of stairs up to the higher level. And when you get up there, you find yourself in a long hallway that looks more like normal size. It's not a huge tunnel. It's not a place where, beasts of burden and carts and the various sort of like, gladiators of the arena are managed. This is more of what you would say like, for lack of a better word, an office sort of a setting. It's smaller rooms that they're more sort of like normal size. The height is normal size. And there's 3 doors to the left and 2 doors to the right.
Silence will say, "I'll check the left ones."
I'll get the right then.
Destruction as the servant is walking. Mim's head getting like smashed up against the walls as he's trying to bubbly hold him.
Here comes Auryn.
All right. And so Silence, you're checking the left doors, right?
Yes'ms.
So the first door you open to the left, tell me how you approach this.
Relatively stealthily as I can be with the servant behind me. Just immediately, like when I come up to a door, Silence would like to put his ear to it at first, check to see if the door, check to see if it's unlocked, and then kind of slowly open it up and get a quick peek inside. And he does have dark vision.
Give me a perception check at advantage.
My advantages have been doing great. That one was a 1, and the other was a 17 plus 1, 18.
Well. You slowly begin to open this door as you're kind of listening, and you hear the excited sort of like muffled voices coming, or a muffled voice coming from the second room, sort of around the corner. And as Sionnach is moving, alongside of you to take on the right side of doors, you open this one and you realize it's a storeroom, and there's not much else in here besides boxes and crates and various sort of like items or supplies or what have you, except that there's like a desk off to one side.
There's no white owl. That is not where I need to be.
All right. And I'm assuming that you move on to the sort of the second door to the left.
Yeah, most certainly.
All right, so we're going to cut over to Sionnach doing her thing on the right-hand side. Talk to me about the approach they're taking here.
Sort of similar to what Silence would be doing, but she sort of tips her hat a little bit so that her ear is better exposed, and still holding the scimitars, she leans up and presses her ear up against a door to see if she can hear anything happening before going to try and see if the door is unlocked.
All right, give me a perception roll at advantage.
Advantage. Okay.
Hey, Johnny, real quick while she's rolling that. Can we say that Auryn shut the cell doors that were leading up to this point?
What do you mean?
Because there was the gate, and then there was the cell doors that the servant always made him stand at, and they would open it and then leave.
No. This is before you get to that point.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
All right, that's a 13 from me.
You got a 13?
Mhm.
Okay. So you begin to hear a bit of noise coming from the second door to the left, but you don't hear anything coming from the door right in front of you off to the right. You're not sure, but you think it sounds like a muffled voice, but you can't really quite place it.
Right, this one, quiet as the dead. That one, and she'll nod to the one that has the noise coming, sounds like there might be something there, not sure what.
Yeah,
Silence.
Silence approaches that second door that he had also heard some noise coming from as well when he made his check. So he will gingerly step up to it and put his small little ear up to it, trying to get some insight as to what's going on inside there.
There is clearly something bound and gagged, because you can hear it move among, sort of what sounds like bonds that almost there's like a tinkling kind of a sound to it that reminds you of chains. Not unlike the chains that you heard or saw when you were coming into the city on the boat, where you were watching the servant who were in servitude and were rowing. So you hear that noise, and then you also hear the muffled sort of high-pitched sound going.
Yeah, Silence has no caution at that point and will immediately open the door, because that obviously screams danger or someone is in trouble, and the way of the white stripe is he must protect, or he must help that person out. So he'll open that door, and what does he see inside there?
As you kind of push the door in open, you see that there is a strig bound hand, or like wings and feathered hands behind it, and there are chains connecting to the hands that are bound in like manacles of some kind, and it is clearly chained to the wall. And he's got this huge piece of cloth that's pulled tightly through his beak, thus preventing him from actually being able to speak at all. The rest of the room is a large table with a bunch of papers sort of like strewn all around on top of it. And off to the side on a sort of a cabinet of some kind, you see a small box sort of seated off to the side. For Sionnach, if you step in after him, you recognize the box as the box described by Mim that he was supposed to be delivering and handing off.
Oh, well, that's getting tucked right away into an inner pocket of my overcoat. But then seeing this little strig sitting all cooped up, one of the scimitars gets tucked back into this sheath, and I'm going to go over and use my little bee brooch to pick the locks.
Well, please do.
Sleight of hand?
Please.
Okay, because that's a nice one. That's a lovely little 4. Ooh, okay, cool. So that's going to be a 14.
You start to mess with it, and for a moment, with your brooch, you're just kind of you're kind of trying to trick the mechanism and kind of get the sort of the latch to pop. And at first, it sort of vexes you, but then you hear the nice audible click. And they, the first one sort of comes off, and you're able to easily, kind of pull off the second manacle, and immediately, the little strigs, like, feathered hands kind of come around and go and pulls the thing off. It's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Hey, do you guys know Auryn? Is the fight over? Did he win?
Are you Milo?
Yeah. What's going on here?
Please come with us right now, because he's looking for you, and he's not exactly calm.
Oh, is he trying to navigate that stairway again? I told him not to do that. He moves too fast and he scrapes. They know that he's actually there.
Sionnach is looking right at Silence, like her eyes getting bigger and bigger as Milo keeps talking. And she just sort of stops for a moment. I think I found someone to challenge Mimsy dear on talking.
What? Who's Mimsy? What's going on? Who are you? And he looks up at Silence. You're new to this area. I've never seen anybody like you before.
Silence, if it pleases you. I think we must make haste.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. They left me here. They said they were going to be coming back. They said that Auryn was never going to be coming back. They said that he's going to die, and I just want to make sure that he's okay. You sure he's okay? Did he get bloody?
He's alive. He's alive. He's alive and well. He's strong. Let's get you back to him, and let's get the hell out of here.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get going. And he immediately, Milo just kind of like hops up on his legs, kind of shakes him out a little bit, and immediately darts out the door.
I think we need to follow the little one.
Silence will shrug his shoulders, just like, yeah.
I'm just like shaking head in disbelief, like, this is unreal. So off going to follow Milo.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what I said. Did I stutter?
Okay. Well, so it's interesting because Silence, what do?
Silence doesn't care about any of the papers that are on the table. He might have noticed the chest this box that Sionnach would have put inside of her coat, but that means little to him. It's mostly about helping that person who was bound. So he's kind of going with the flow, just like it.
Good day, weary travelers. I am one Stormbringer. I would like to talk to you about the wonderful Humblewood. Humblewood is an exciting new campaign setting for D&D 5e that includes original playable races, new monsters, magic items, and compelling adventure for 1st to 5th level characters. Available now at thedeckofmany.com/darkfortunes.
All right. So the two of you make your way back as we see Auryn finally navigating halfway up the stairways, and he's starting to make that second flight of stairs, and Mim is still sort of draped over his shoulder as he's kind of like he kind of drops him a little bit. He's slowly making his way up, and you see that Milo has stopped and is kind of looking at Mim, or kind of looking at Auryn, just kind of taking this situation in. So I mean, I don't mean to be. Who's that?
Can you use your light words?
What? Light word? I don't understand what
you're. The ones that make me feel better.
You weren't supposed to tell anybody I could do that. They're not supposed to know.
They're friends. I think.
Well, they did just free me, but
as he's like doing that, I was like, and we need to go.
All right, it's sure. All right. And he looks back at Silence and Sionnach as they kind of make their way towards the doorway at the top, and he's like, all right, fine, geez, and cast Healing Word on Mim.
So it's going to be D4 plus 2, so he gets 6 hit points back.
Oh, everything hurts. Everything hurts so bad. All of my bones. Oh, you do have big, strong arms, don't you?
Yes, hello, little Corvum.
Regular-sized Corvum, I have you know. Could I be put down, please?
I put him down and I start backing the way out, and I look at Milo as I'm like trying to go down the stairs, and it's like, do you know where we need to go?
What are you talking to me for? What do you mean? Where are we going? You're in trouble. They were going to kill you. You think they're just going to let you go?
We're leaving.
Where are we leaving for? Auryn, you and I haven't been out of here since we were, tiny little children.
But do you know the way out?
Well, sure, of course, but I've never been that way. You've never been that way. Not since you got here.
I'm sorry. I don't have any idea what's going on here. Both of you are talking a lot about things that I don't understand or care about. I need to get back to Sionnach?
What?
Where are we going?
Well, we're going to go back to the docks, and they have been in captivity since they were young. In other words, they've been slaves.
Oh, that sounds incredibly inconvenient. You're welcome to come on Sionnach's boat, I guess. Right?
Milo, boat.
Well, yes. Come follow us to the docks. The boat will have to... we'll figure that out once we get there.
Great. Also...
hold up.
Hi. Hello.
Well, you're welcome. Number one. Number two. I don't mean to be to be difficult, but we're not going to be able to step out of this place. Everybody knows him.
Are they going to fight him?
I don't. Auryn, are these friends as dumb as you are?
I think I'm very intellectual.
Intellectual, and quite frankly, we can always put that little gag back in the beak, babe.
You think that it's that easy, but you have to understand that he is the people's champion. He has been the people's champion for almost 10 years. They know him. They know him on sight. He walks outside. They're going to stop him. They're going to catch him.
Then we need to.
And they're going to put us right back here, or worse, they're going to kill us all.
Shut up.
Now you know what it's like.
How do I turn it off?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out with you yet.
You don't turn it off.
Great.
But
I have an idea. I need a cart, and I need sheets, a barrel, inkwells, pots, blood, whatever you have that's liquid that can be written on. I need a wig. I need a dress. I need. Oh no, I have one of those. That's fine. We're fine. And I need music. That's me. I have that job. That's fine. We're good. Do you do anything? And he looks to Silence.
I have a wig, actually. In my travels, it's not important.
Great.
I do have a set of fine clothes that I could possibly give to you to use. Not for you.
I'll
for
fix those.
Okay.
No, I need okay, here's the plan. We get a cart, we load it full of things, we paint it all fancy, very quickly. This has to happen in minutes. And it's now a float. Do you understand what that is? No, great. A float is like a thing that you parade through. You know what parade? We'll cover parades later. You just won a thing, I think. Right? Was it Auryn? Orange? Auryn. You won a thing, which is a deal of some significant size. We put you on the cart. It's a float now, and we're having a parade. I'll play music. You'll wear a wig. You don't kill anyone. You just shush your tiny mouth. And then we just parade him through the entire street until we get to the docks. And then we say, ha, surprise, we're stealing a boat. Or taking a boat? Do you have your own boat?
First of all, if they're looking for him, parading him around is going to be too much to our disadvantage. So maybe not best to display him, perhaps put him into the cargo. Make him look like we're carrying something out. Garbage, refuse, something like that. We don't have to decorate it. We just make it look serviceable.
That does sound easier.
I guess.
A little less flamboyant, a little bit more under the cover, so to speak.
What's the point of that?
No flash, boom, bang, and getting pulled in by the guard.
Fine.
I could make a suggestion. If we could get a cart, then we could put a lot of supplies inside of it that resembles trash, and then put him in it, and who's going to stop a trash cart?
I like that idea.
I have prestidigitation. I can soil all the things.
Fine, I guess we'll go with plan sneaky sneak.
The less appealing you can make it smell, the better.
Milo, we need to go.
Go.
Milo,
I really don't. I don't know if I can trust these.
Milo, either we go or we die.
That seems a bit dramatic.
No, it
They're
seems
going
right
to
on
kill us. Or they're going to kill me and then eventually kill you. Because I won't be here to protect you. We need to go.
Milo kind of looks at your face, looks at Mim, looks back at Silence and Sionnach, sorry. And he kind of looks back at Auryn. All right. He kind of sort of sighs, and you see the, sort of this sort of resignation kind of play across his face. What do you need me to do?
Get us to the cart bay.
All right. And the Strig, this is a conversation that I don't think we ever quite finished about Milo, but I'm assuming he's really short as a pygmy.
Yeah.
He's probably maybe under 2 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's really tiny, and he's just, he kind of almost as fast as Erdrubine sort of darts between the legs and kind of makes his way down back towards the stairs and expects the 4 of you to follow him.
I let everyone go first. Or I was already halfway down, so I'm backing out.
Backing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it going too well, just destroying all the things around you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a gradual.
I can do an athletics check to kind of rip out of there. Let's do it. 13.
Sure. At this point, you can just your momentum to kind of use the downward motion and gravity and everything else just kind of tears through. But as you walk through the sort of the doorway, your antlers just continue to kind of drag, and they kind of take parts of the sort of the side of the doors, and there's these big gashes as you kind of, make your way through, and you turn, and the 4 of you follow Milo as he darts down towards what looks to be like a 4-way sort of crossroads, and off to one side you can finally hear some noise and some sort of not a cacophony, but just voices yelling and concern and sort of screaming. And Milo says, no, we gotta go this way. Don't worry about those guys. They're fodder anyways. That's the gladiator fodder. We don't need to worry about them. All right, come on, we gotta go this way. And he darts. So that would be that noise is coming from the right. He darts towards the left.
Okay, I go left with him.
For the rest of you, it takes you a little bit of a moment to kind of understand what Milo was implying. But he was basically saying that that's where the rest of the sort of the servants or the gladiators who are in servitude lie. Do any of you want to do anything about that?
Silence really wants to, but he understands the task at hand, and so he's like, okay, and follows behind.
Does anyone have keys to the cells?
I don't have keys, and I don't know how long it'd take me to pick.
No? Anyone? They'd make a great distraction.
You want to let them all out?
I mean, it doesn't really affect me either, but if everyone escaped and is causing havoc, then it makes our escape easier.
More than likely, they're out of their cells just because they weren't me.
And I hate to say it, but we're wasting precious time.
Fair enough. Lead on, Tiny Strig.
And so Milo kind of takes you through down this other pathway, and you're passing doorways that are open and look to be like storage rooms for the most part. And you smell rotting flesh coming from one of them as you realize that that's where sort of the kitchen is, and there's really ugly sort of spiced smells coming from it, but it doesn't smell pretty. And so Milo kind of carries you along and kind of navigates you past all of these doors to more of an open area. And at the far end on the other side, about 40 feet down this tunnel, you see sort of a gateway that kind of leads out, and there is bright light. It's clearly like there's sunshine in that direction. Where you are right here, there is a series of carts and some beasts of burden who have been tied up, and corralled, and are currently feeding on like hay and other types of grain. And you see that there's a couple of carts that would serve whatever purpose that you seem to have in mind, Mim.
So make it look like trash is the plan, and then...
Yes, as inconspicuous as possible.
Sounds dreadfully boring.
You should use that bad-smelling food and put it on me.
I like how you think. So
I used my glands earlier, or else I would be able to... never mind.
What?
I'm sorry.
What are glands?
That.
It doesn't matter right now. And he silence gets all sorts of if a skunk could look flushed and embarrassed, he would.
I think that's his normal state of life.
He looks like Flower from Bambi.
Oh, Flower!
Oh, someone draw that, please.
So Sionnach she'd very much be heading towards getting whatever stunk to high heaven. Doesn't care if it makes her smell, nothing like that. It's just get the job done.
Yeah, Silence is trying to take all of his fine clothes and just dump it in a cart, and I can use prestidigitation up to 3 times to just soil areas, so I can make the side of the wagon look dirty, and some of the clothes that I'm putting in there.
You can
look
actually
dirty.
use prestidigitation infinite amount of times. You have 3 cantrips, and cantrips can be cast over and over and over.
I do believe I can maintain 3 effects.
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
maintain? Well, so are you you aren't maintaining any of the other effects that you've already used prestidigitation for?
Yeah, no. So
he can make things
So you
dirty
really
3
have.
times.
Yeah.
Mim is also helping to make the cart look like a refuse bin, but he's complaining about it the entire time.
And I am getting inside, and I'm gonna roll a performance check to try to be like trash.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So there's a bunch of different moving parts here to it, and I'm thinking one roll for the entire thing makes sense.
Okay.
So if you want to roll performance as it, you can roll it at advantage. If Mim wants to roll, what was it? You were going to say disguise?
Yeah, I think Silence and I have disguise.
So whichever role you guys want to make as the part of this sort of performance, let's just make it one roll and have it roll at advantage as a group action kind of a thing. So whoever's got the highest, I think, is probably the best thing that you should probably do.
I would say deception or performance. Whoever's got the best, and I'll try to help, and whoever wants to help that person.
I
have a 5
in
in deception, and I just rolled a 20.
Yeah, I think that's going to be good enough for me.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Well, fantastic. Okay. So the final result is something that is a sight to behold between arcane energy, rotting meat, and a performance by Auryn. Mim, your nose is so turned up at this entire experience that you really do not ever want to be described in any way, shape, or form associated with this moment in your entire life. It gives you that much sort of a feeling of disgust.
Yeah, this isn't a fun thing. You need to be flamboyant and flashy, and if it was a parade, the crowds would have gathered on the sides of the street. It would have blocked the Gerbine enforcers. It's a whole thing that he's going to have to come to terms with over the next few days, I think. So
there are smashing coming from the direction from which all of you came, and at that, Milo says, "Oh, are they? Did you not lock the gate? The gate?" And he darts off to go figure out what's actually going on.
No,
as a sort of crashing noise is coming from that direction.
We have to go.
Great,
Milo.
Do we have a horse? a goat or a...
There's
You have a
other.
beast of burden of your choice.
Great. And he starts to hook up the block and tackle to this horse or donkey or whatever.
All right. And so as you're beginning to kind of, get things all squared away and sort of mounted on it, Milo comes back. Oh, yeah, they're going to break through. I don't know I don't know what's going to be on that gate that we're actually going out this direction for, but hopefully, it's not going to be a problem. Do the rest of you have something that you can wear to disguise yourself?
Oh my god, you speak so quickly I can barely think. I can take off the hat and the coat and look more person of the city as opposed to this. Perhaps Silence should put the hat on.
Ooh,
I know. Put on the wig.
Silence will pull this blonde curly wig out, kind of like you imagine judges in Westminster way back in the day in England. And he's like, I don't want to talk about where it came from, but he'll place it on his head and
Mim immediately whacks Sionnach. Oh my god. Oh, he's actually doing it. I was just...
He's a team player. Stop
Wow.
teasing him.
You're
That's a good
putting it-
thing.
That's a wig and a half. You've got.
What about your wig? Let's see your wig.
I don't have one. Okay. And he takes his hat off and puts it in his bag, and then takes his jacket off and puts it in his bag, and then pulls out this bright red and glittering robe, and he puts that on, and he reaches back in the bag and pulls out another hat and puts it on, and it's like the Musketeers hat. And then he reaches in the bag again and he pulls out something and he waves it around, and it's a big, huge feather that he sticks in the hat as well. And then he puts his sash back around his waist. And see, I have disguised myself.
You just made yourself a more flamboyant version of me.
You're welcome.
Why?
I mean, sometimes you need to dress for a party.
You didn't get those for me to wear, did you?
No. And I
Right.
didn't get them from your closet either. They're mine. They're my things. You
I
have your
don't
own things.
own
I-
sparkly things like that.
I would like to say we probably need to go.
What he said.
And to accentuate that statement, there is a now loud sort of crashing noise, and Milo says, "Yeah, I agree. Orange, right? We gotta go. We gotta go."
Well then, I will... it's so trashy. And he climbs up into the seat of the wagon, and he pulls up the crop. Let's go. And he readies to whack the ass end of this donkey.
Silence will take the seat next to him, but he'll kind of giggle to himself and he'll say, "A joining of four. Mayhem followed in their wake. Each one was motley."
I'm sorry, do you do that often?
My name is Auryn.
Great.
Sorry, haikus, they're important to my people.
Well,
But aren't we five? Don't I count? Don't I count?
Milo,
Shush.
keep your mouth shut.
together you make one. And Mim puts an arm around Silence and says, just look pretty. And he hits the donkey on the ass.
All right, so one of you had probably stepped up to sort of open the gate that leads out into the world that leads from under the Razor's Den. And so you find yourself out on the street, and there are trumpets going off left and right. You see Gerbine soldiers, sons of the guards of the city, kind of running back and forth, clearly kind of looking and assessing the situation, for some reason not really paying attention to the four of you in the cart, plus Milo, because he would want to be acknowledged, moved out into the street proper itself. You are in what is known as the Brothers' Curtain. It is the sort of brothel section of the Vices, and it is towards the western side of the Vices. You're basically on the far side, and the docks are off towards the east. How do you want to proceed through the city?
Quickly, quietly.
Yeah, as unobtrusively as possible.
Sexy couple on trash day.
What the hell kind of garbage men do you have?
Well, I have this
Exactly.
beautiful bewigged skunk right next to me, and I look like the queen of the ball here. So we are just an attractive couple on trash day.
Silence is trying to hide his like massive bushy tail, and I imagine would have taken off his armor, leaving like these very tight black underclothes on, and he's holding his big bushy tail in order to try and hide it in front of him, but also trying to mimic as though it's a baby. So it's just trying to like rock it back and forth, trying to put up the front that he is not the person who just murdered a Gerbine in a fighting pit.
I probably honestly would have ducked underneath the covers and like kept a paw over Milo's beak. Because darling, you need to make sure you keep yourself sotto voce.
No, all right. No problem. All
No,
right.
just you're done. That's it. Shush.
The four of you in the cart are slowly making your way through the city. As much as you want to go fast, you realize that going at a speed that isn't a normal sort of pace for a cart of this particular size and disposition would cause an incredible amount of attention to be drawn towards you. You take in a number of sights as you're making your way slowly away from the curtain, through the coin, and back towards the Brothers Marketplace as you go through the Brothers Brew. First, you see that there are an incredible presence of the Sons of the Brother all around this, sort of the area. They're moving in groups of four. They're scurrying incredibly quick. Their glaives in their hands. Those that you identify as sort of like captains or sergeants or soldiers that are above the rank of just straight up guard, do not appear to be carrying the glaives themselves. Instead, they appear to be walking around not with any weapons that are visible. However, you do see two hilts on each, one on each sort of like hip, what look to be daggers or short swords on their sides as they're moving and calling orders. That's the commotion on the ground. Silence, as you're kind of like, kind of keeping in this situation and kind of taking it in, you look up and you see the nests that attracted each of you individually at one point, kind of, these spotter points that are located around the city. They're not occupied by one, but they are occupied by three raptors, all keeping sight of everything going on around, and they are focusing and kind of looking, and there is a servant still behind them, but you don't see any Gerbine getting ferried up towards the top. So this is clearly a situation where they are very much keeping an eye and beginning to kind of try to lock down the vices. But because the disguise is so well done and the smell is so grotesque that it keeps enough attention away from you, that as you make your way out of the vices and into the Brothers Market, you find yourself beginning to notice that the sort of the madness, the sort of the intensity of the search has begun to calm down a little bit. And you notice that while they are still on guard, the soldiers that are the guards that are around, the Gerbine sort of guards they're attentive, but they're not, they're not in groups of four. They're not paying attention in the same way. And there's not as much intense activity. You notice that the nests only contain one raptor, kind of, scanning the area, but these appear to be doing their job exceedingly well, just still paying attention. And so you still feel the constant supervision, of these, these eyes in the sky, essentially. But eventually, after what feels like an hour, you're able to make your way towards the docks. So talk to me a little bit about the boat that we're looking for here.
If it's before the sail time, it's the one that Sionnach had come on beforehand. So what is our time frame with that one? Because they were leaving right at, wasn't noon?
Yeah, they were leaving close after the height of the sun in the sky. So yeah. As you're beginning to assess the situation and you kind of come up to the berth, you realize that the boat is not there. And as you look out, you can see that it is, it is on the tide, taking it out towards sea. And they haven't started to raise sails yet, but they are clearly maneuvering themselves in such a way to take advantage of the tide.
All right, so seeing that, are there any smaller boats that look like they're unattended at the moment?
There are plenty of boats in the area. There are 2 that are docked off the docks themselves, but are kind of like moored, have dropped anchor in the water about 100 feet off. One of them looks to be a fast sailing vessel with sails, but its design lends itself to the bird folk. So there's not as much rigging going on. It definitely is used in such a way so that it is crewed partially by bird folk. It would be really challenging for you to sail since you don't necessarily have a crew with you that could accommodate that right now. But that one looks to be one of the 2 that will be easy to kind of grab. The other one is a huge warship, and it is clearly marked with the sails of or the sort of the markings of the den, the kingdom to the north. But you are not quite sure, if you could, as a group, manage to sail this one either. But it also looks like it's being slowly prepared, and it's receiving, cargo coming in by rowboats. There are 2 other boats that kind of catch your eye as you're kind of like assessing as you're taking the cart along the situation. You notice that there is a keel boat that would be easy to steal, but it is much smaller than you were expecting. It's no more than 50 feet long, and it's a single sail. And then the other one is also a sailing vessel of about 80 feet. It's got 2 masts, would be a little more difficult to manage, but it's something that the 4 of you could potentially sail.
Looking at all of them, for Sionnach, she'd definitely lock on to the double master without question. Just quickly checking off warship, too obvious, too flamboyant, too noticeable. Noticing them with the bird folk, more inclined. Yes, there are 2 of them. However, they don't seem to have ears that listen so much as mouths that jabber. So she's already kind of brushing that one off. And then the single mast she knew would be a little bit too small, especially factoring in the size of Auryn. So she will sort of just give a quick little huff. Right. See that one over there with the 2 masts?
Yeah, I see that one. We're going to take that one out to the warship and steal the warship.
No, we're not stealing the warship. Stealing the warship is going to be a headache and a half. I know it looks pretty and I know it looks fun, but that's also one that's going to get a lot of attention when it goes missing.
Fine.
Can we use a different word other than steal?
Borrow temporarily.
Thank you. It goes against my code.
What if you just come on the stolen vessel and don't actually do the stealing?
Oh, that's fine.
Great. Perfect.
Let's just say that all boats are sort of open to use when it comes to my crowd. It's an understood agreement.
Mimir leans over to Silence and goes, "She's a pirate."
Oh. I'm not familiar.
That's an ocean thief. They steal things from the ocean and other people on the. It's like a highway, but on the water.
I don't see any seashells.
I'm also confused.
What?
She steals from the ocean.
Oh my. Anyway, yeah. And he starts heading towards.
So you said this is about 100 feet from the docks, right?
So this one is actually docked.
Oh, lovely.
So there was 4 ships, right? There was the one that is docked off, that's a sailing ship, but it's clearly of birdfolk design. It has less riggings. It's not easy for humble folk or anybody who has paws and not wings to kind of navigate back and forth. Yeah, are you going to sail, Mim? I see that look that you're giving me.
Is that like tied to the dock then?
No, it's dropped anchor about
that's the
100
one
feet
that's
off the
out.
water.
Okay. Are there any boats that are sort of ready to go unattended, but not in my line of sight to steal? I'm kind of thinking, oops, a daisy, one got away. Letting one go to create a distraction.
Oh, there are plenty of boats that match that. There's a couple of keel boats and a couple of sailboats, sailing ships.
Who has the brightest sails?
This one happens to be a one that flies the colors from Alderhurt. It looks to be flying the colors of diplomacy and docked, but it's not well attended to.
Right. So, eyes on the double mast.
Yes.
Sights to release that one to get everyone in a little bit of a kerfuffle.
Okay, Silence, how do you feel about just all crimes in general? Is it no? Just so I can be clear here.
Technically, I'm on a kind of pilgrimage.
Right?
And I shouldn't have strong feelings one way or another, but I still do.
Great. Now that we know that you shouldn't have feelings, what do you feel about chaos in general?
Sometimes it can serve its point. There's this thing called the White Stripe. Actually, I'll
Fantastic.
talk about that later.
There's a boat right over there. Now, if you were to take that enormous sword that you have, that seems to make you stop talking when you swing it, and you go that way and you slice the ropey bits, the tie off knot thing. There's a word for it. Sionnach knows it. Right there. If you slice it up and the boat floats away, it will cause chaos, which will be fun for everyone here on this little cart that we have. Then you quickly run back here. I saw you move with great speed. And then we steal, we borrow without asking, and for an indeterminate amount of time, this ship here. Everyone looks left, we go right.
I could try. I'm not allowed to take out my blade unless I'm being threatened. You know what? I've come up with a great idea.
Great.
And Silence will kind of like jump off, still with his wig, still not wearing his armor, still has the big sword on his back. Will kind of run up to it, take out the sword and say, "How dare you say that about my mother?" and slice the rope.
Improv. He is a good learner.
And then he'll like look back at you, do a thumbs up.
Yeah. Pathetically.
Give me a deception roll.
Okay. 11 plus 3, 14.
All right, so that's convincing enough. I mean, yeah, it's convincing enough so that you do that, and the boat begins to sort of get carried up by the tide as it's going out, and it's slowly moving. And as it does, at first nobody pays attention to it. So what does Silence do as the boat is beginning to kind of float back out to sea?
He's done his job. He's gonna go back to. He's gonna sheath the sword. He mostly just kind of puts his arm back to kind of try and sheath the sword, but the sheath moves for him in order to sheath it, and because it's impossible otherwise. And then he walks proudly back to the cart, just like, I did my job. That rope threatened me and said mean things about my mother, thus I was able to cut it.
So
Job done.
So as he's cutting this, I'm wheeling the cart away. Because when I told him to go left, everyone looks right, we go left. So he knows what boat we're looking for. So he starts to yaw the cart towards this other boat over here, and like loads it down the dock. Well, if I was going to put trash on a boat, I would hope that the trash would move itself. And he hops out of the cart and begins to walk onto the boat.
How does trash move itself?
It means we have to get up and do it for ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Tell you what, how about you stand to cover and I will guide you?
Okay. And then you just see a giant, like, sheet covered in meat bits, like, stand up and then, like, slowly try to walk around.
how about you duck down a little bit, love? Just hunch over slightly and shuffle a little bit so it looks like you're on wheels. So, like, I'm trying to make it look like we have, like, a dolly underneath him, so it's kind of, like, pushing it towards the ship and mimicking that motion, so it kind of looks like we must have some sort of bizarre
I'm going to give
cargo.
a performance.
Jesus Christ.
That is an 18. 16 plus 2.
Oh my god.
Well done. Because as she is, convincing you how you need to do this, and Milo is sort of chattering off to the side, kind of also giving you advice. Between the two of them, they are able to communicate to Auryn in a way that allows him to kind of like go, oh, okay, and he shuffles onto the ship in a meaningful way. Mim, Sionnach, Auryn is on the ship. Silence. You're walking up as the sort of the last individual on this, kind of like just sort of assessing and taking in the situation.
I will dig a gold coin out of my pouch. I will toss it to Mimir and say, yes, I will take passage on this boat. Thank you.
What? Okay.
I'll kind of give you that look like I need to do this.
Great. I'll never not take gold for free. And Mimir, having no idea what he's doing, but knowing it looks real cool, walks up to like the helm and adjusts the plume of his hat and just begins calling out nonsense. Keel the jib! Do the with the sheeny things! Drop him low or whatever. Figure it out.
Well, while he's doing that, Sionnach would turn to Silence. All right, we're going to make this easy. We need to make sure that the ropes down there on the dock are freed so the ship can start moving on its own. I'm going to get the sails up and released.
I can do that. I am very proficient at rope. Trust me.
Perfect. And then she'd turn to Milo. You, little one, go up there where the wheel is and keep it steady. This means you want to keep that one that's already notched up there straight up towards the sun. Do not let it go east or west. Understood?
But there's that Corvum up there. He's got it. I'll take it. He's making calls and he can do that, right?
He has no freaking clue what he's doing. He's just using a bunch of words that sound right, and that's the way he usually functions in life in general.
I don't know what I'm doing either. What do you mean?
I just told you. Stand up there by the wheel. Make sure the top notch stays up towards the sun. Don't let it move.
I'm tiny. It's like 6 feet tall.
And I will be back in 5 minutes.
All
Unless you
right,
want
all
Auryn to
right.
do it, and then we have him standing out there in all of his glory, beaconing everyone on the docks.
All right. Milo just kind of turns and stomps up there, and he walks up to Mim and he says, "Excuse me, I have a job here. Can you scoot aside?"
Yes, tiny helmsman, the ship is yours. And he steps off to the side and continues calling out things like an orchestra.
I look at Sionnach and I'm like, I'm not a bird folk. I do not have a beacon.
That's a different thing, and I'm glad you don't have a beacon. We don't want you to be a beacon. For right now, just literally get down on hands and knees and stay as a nice little, larger pile of possible trash covered up by a top.
Okay, I take a nap here now.
Naps are lovely. I'll make sure you get juice afterwards. So after seeing Milo go up and do what he was asked to do, sing Silence, work in the ropes as she was hoping, quickly go and make sure the sails are opening, and then buzz myself back down to try and take over steering things before Milo goes spinning around.
So you see that Milo is sort of struggling, and as the sails begin to unfurl, and begin to catch, the boat is beginning to move with the tide out towards, sort of the beyond the docks themselves. And you're feeling really, really great about this. You've been able to instruct Silence to do the right thing. Milo does his thing. It's going. The sails appear to be doing exactly what you expect to. And that's when you begin to hear the call. Watch out! Everybody, abandoned ship! Abandoned ship! As you turn and look and realize that the boat that Silence cut was floating out into the bay and was heading directly for the ship that was moored, the warship, the one from Den. And as you turn and look and watch, it smashes directly into that warship and there you hear this amazing sound of like wood, breaking against wood, and you see various, sort of Vulpine and Mawpock and a couple of, other bird folk just kind of like jumping and sort of abandoning ship and just kind of, jumping into the water themselves, as you are able to kind of right the boat in such a way, and you begin to kind of shift and move off towards along the tide out to sea.
I would absolutely be looking at the chaos and just kind of go, huh, even better than I thought. And just big toothy grin as we're moving out into the ocean.
And that's where we're going to end it.
Dark Fortunes is an unMadeGaming production and a proud member of the Don't Split the Podcast network. If you would like to learn more about the world of Dark Fortunes and get some behind-the-scenes looks, please join us on Patreon at patreon.com/unMadeGaming. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for joining us on this high seas adventure, and we'll see you next time on Dark Fortunes.